He fell in love with a girl, his wife, and the brother said, if you want to marry my sister, you've got to go back to Germany and ask my parents. John's parents said, while you're there, buy one of those bussy things and bring it back for us.
A week or so ago, we were at Greg Sloma's garage where Jeremy Tate does some detailing. We looked at Greg's collection, at least what he had out, and looked at the Civic Si that Jeremy is detailing, and went out to look at reproducing some stickers. Heading back out there again, bringing those stickers, but it's also Third Thursday. Third Thursdays actually used to be every Thursday, and it's something that Omaha Volkswagen Club would get together and just hang out. Used to be at Greg Sloma's personal shop that he had out in Elkhorn. People would come out and do some light wrenching on their cars, and really just a good group of people hanging out. Being kind of the off season, you usually don't get as many people coming out. There's usually, I don't know, a couple dozen Volkswagens there. Some getting worked on, some waiting for service, but it'll be dark when we get there, so we probably won't look at much of what is outside, but we'll try and take a peek at what is inside at least. All right, we just got out to Aircooled Express, and like I said, it's dark out here, but there is just some cool stuff. Buses, short buses. Kevin Crone, who's got the Rabbit pickup from the last video, also has that Golf R. Oops, Golf R right here. That's Carla's. This is Kevin's Golf R. There's a bunch of stuff out in the field here that's cool. More buses. We'll pop inside here and see what they have. Kevin just brought up a good memory here. They first moved out here to Bennington. This corner, this specific corner of the loft was the water-cooled lounge. And we had a couple Vanagon bench seats. Yeah. We had a Hot Wheels drag race track where you could actually time and see who won. We were bringing out Hot Wheels and racing them against each other. Good times.
He fell in love with a girl, his wife, at the University of Nebraska, and the brother said, if you want to marry my sister, you've got to go back to Germany and ask my parents. So they went back and asked the parents, and they told his parents that they were going to do it. So John's parents said, while you're there, buy one of those bussy things and bring it back for us. And so here they are meeting John's parents at the University of Nebraska, because the two of them were still going to school. We're switching out. We met him at the university. We're taking our stuff out of it. And my parents then took control of the bus that I bought for them to bring back to the States. A cousin in Germany decided that this thing was so important, we need to find it and restore it. He found it. This guy in Germany, the cousin of John, found it on the farm in Iowa. It had gone from John's dad to John's brother to John's cousin, I guess, to her boyfriend. And he found it on a farm up in Iowa, and it was buried like this, and I took my car trailer up, and we were in a small town in Iowa, and yeah, we drug it home. It was crazy. But yeah, it was in terrible shape.
Oh my.
It'd been rolled. Mike and I went to Missouri and got a new top for it. This is a new top out of another bus.
The only original metal on it is around the windows.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it had been rolled on its side, and this whole side was smashed in. These are all the pictures of, putting it back together.
So he had us restore it without his wife's knowledge, because he thought she would be thrilled to death to see it again. She was not so thrilled.
She was pissed at all the money he spent on it. Yeah, no campers were two-tone like this. All campers that came to the United States were white. Dan's camper over there is this color because it was never sold in the U.S. It came from Europe to Canada. Dan bought it out of Canada and drove it down here. And it's a Dormobile, there was probably 40 or 50 different companies that made campers from Volkswagens. The only one you could buy from a Volkswagen dealer was a Westfalia.
Okay.
This is not a Westfalia.
Okay.
But the
But-
camper package was a dealer option.
Yeah, in Europe. Yeah, I mean, there's some neat pictures in here.
We did everything the way it was in 1960, except for the engine. We built him a bigger engine, of course.
And there's one, yeah. So here's the picture the day that John saw it finished. I mean, he was just,
He showed up and didn't even ask if he could drive it or
No,
if
he
it was
just jumped in
ready.
and
Or
took off.
And
He just got in.
I remember he got back and someone called him. I don't remember who, but he gets on the phone and he just lays in the back here on the seats.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm laying in the bus that I got married in, and
yeah. He was sitting across this seat here with his hand over this seat, looking forward like he was sitting on top of top of the world. It was just unbelievable. And I thought we had that picture in here, but I don't see it.
So this has been a project of yours for a while now.
I've had this car for 10 or 12 years, yeah. It's a 2110cc with a single side draft carburetor, pulling through a turbo. Ron Loomis Racing, chromoly, NHRA certified roll cage. Very basic interior. It's not a race car, but it does have a fuel cell. But it's not a race car.
Sure.
'60 panel van that was abandoned in 1975 in Lincoln. I thought the dashboard was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Marie kind of did that on her own. I love it. Really cool supercharged engine that I got from my good friend Sean Davis.
So this used to be in my Beetle, and it was a 1600 single port at the time, and I put the Joe Blow kit on it. And it ran pretty well. It was really fun, but I know you've since done more to it.
It might run better now. We've spent a lot of time jetting and working with the CV Performance black box to get the timing map where it needs to be to run right. It's a 1641 now.
And dual port heads.
Yes.
I feel like American muscle car guys that are used to a blower sitting on top of, the
Yes.
valley of a V8 see that, and they're a little confused.
Yeah, they're kind
Yeah.
of mind blown. They've never seen that before. And of course, it sounds really cool because it's a blower.
This is the Dormobile that Greg was talking about. It's a European model brought in through Canada. It's got a cool top that actually hinges sideways instead of popping straight up. Kind of looks like a circus tent when it's open. Ignore the wires, but it's very configurable. Being worked on right now, so. Back in the garage, we're gonna try and get this organized. My goal is to get this workbench cleared off. And then I'm gonna put in one more set of shelves. We're gonna rearrange. We're gonna move basically all these cars out. So the Tiguan's gonna go out, the Torque's gonna go out, and then I'm gonna push the Volvo around here just so I have plenty of working space. I'm gonna get pegboard, put it along the back. We're gonna start with just trying to get all this stuff cleared out. I originally had this space over here reserved because I had a Suzuki Cappuccino and it actually would fit pretty nicely back in that area. But it's not there, and I could even put another shelf in it and still fit a small car. Like if I ever get the Beetle back here, it could still fit under a shelf. These are 96 inches tall and they are 30 inches deep. One of the kind of annoying things about having that extra depth, we end up with these containers that don't really utilize all the height that they could. They're certainly not as deep as the shelves, so you end up with just a lot of wasted storage space, or I end up piling stuff in front of them, and it just kind of throws off the whole system that I'm trying to get going here. So I've been browsing for different containers and came across this Plano brand. They seem relatively affordable, but the nice thing is they're 30 inches deep, and I can fit 4 I think that's right, maybe even 5. I don't remember the exact width of it. I at least want to kind of organize and inventory what I have and start thinking about how I might want to organize things with these new containers. New shelf is in, which gives me a space to kind of start putting stuff away in an organized fashion. Over here is where I'm gonna set up more of like a fabrication. Heavy fab would happen over there. Lighter, more detailed work would be over here. I've talked about the Volvo engine. I'll show it real quick. This is a Volvo B20. It's originally a B20F, which means it's fuel injected, but low compression. The head has been reworked, so now it's 10.5 to 1 compression. It's got bigger valves. Combustion chamber's been modified a little bit. It's been ported. This is a spare engine that I bought off of a farm and went through it all. There's some photos on Instagram that you can find of me going through it. The block's been, machined in the cylinders, honed. It's got this 4:2 to 1 header that I've had ceramic coated. It'll have the ITBs that are in the car right now. I've kind of gone a little crazy trying to make it just look, I don't know. I've never bought chrome parts before, but I've got this like chrome water pump pulley. It has a lot of new parts on it. So I'm pretty excited to put it in. It's been kind of nerve-wracking. It's the first time I've really built an engine, so I hope it all works out. I feel like maybe there was some corners cut, but I also talked with people and they all said that it's fine. So might just be me worrying more than anything. With all that said, I'm gonna continue just trying to get this cleared off. We'll just keep going. All right, so took a pretty long lunch, but over lunch we ran to Menards. You got to go to Menards on a Saturday. Menards has everything. You need lumber, you need a couch, you need pizza, milk, shampoo, nails. They got it all. But anyways, we picked up a pegboard, some 2x6s, and some 1x somethings on the sides to kind of act as like a flange. It's going to mount up kind of behind each of these uprights. Let's try and get that up. I know there's still a bunch of stuff on here. I'm gonna kind of shove things to the side and just get this up because I think it'll be good for morale and it'll give me more opportunities to put stuff in an organized spot. It is lined up basically where I want it, which is good. Now we'll put some screws in just to secure it in place. I did not measure this, but I am super happy with how flush that is. That was not intentional, but I'm really pleased with how that turned out. A little bit of a pickle where I can't get this in there far enough. What I probably really need is some sort of flexible or 90-degree adapter or something. My screws keep falling off, so I'm putting a little bit of tape to help wedge it on. I just remembered I have a 90-degree drill. It's good enough. So we've got the workbench pretty nicely cleared off here. We've got the pegboard up. I've got this new DC power supply, a bunch of different test leads, so I can kind of set up a little bit of a electronics, like testing, assembly sort of thing. Got a bunch of wood clamps hung up there, dustpan. The other thing that I'm pretty pleased with is all of these tool cases. A lot of times I will ditch the case and put them in with the rest of the tools in the toolbox if it makes sense, but some of these are bulky enough and specialty enough that I don't really want to mix them in with the general tools. And so what I did is I took these shelf brackets and installed them upside down so that they're acting almost like little bookshelf bookends. Pretty happy with that. And really the goal is now these are down on eye level, which makes them easier to get to. And if I take one out and one happens to fall over, there's a little bit of an upright to keep them upright. So can fit like 3 or 4 cases, but I think this is gonna work out just fine. I'm pretty pleased with that. So this is like my little electrical toolkit that I just break out anytime I need to solder stuff, crimp stuff. Then there's a box behind here that is spools of wire. I was gonna try and consolidate all this, but I actually kind of like this configuration of putting the like bulk excess stuff in the back and then having this quick little toolbox right here. Oil, coolants. Normally this stuff was mounted up high. There are so many bottles back there that I had totally forgot about. And so now that they're down on eye level, I'll be able to go through them more and have a better idea, not always just buying bottles of fluids because I think I'm out. I'm pretty happy with that. Good morning. We are back out in the garage. I say morning, but it's actually still morning. Hey, if you like this sort of stuff, please subscribe. Leave a comment with any like ideas or things you would do different or things that you liked. Let me know what you want to see more of or hear more about. I don't really know what the whole goal of all these videos are going to be. I think I really just want to share what I'm working on, see if other people are interested, and see where it goes. So I'm on Instagram. Sean hates Instagram. There's a short story behind that as well. You can scroll through and see like past projects. Anyways, enough yapping, back to organizing. I did find that I've got a couple more of these lights. These are what I have currently mounted on the shelves, and I want to try and get these hooked up. All right, I doubled up the lights over the workbench. I couldn't find those extra clips, so right now they're just kind of zip tied in place. Just gonna try and get things a little bit organized. I know some of this is temporary. I'm gonna change up a little bit of like the switch and how these are all linked together. But at least for today, get the lights going. And with the lights on, you can see just having that extra light on this shelf is pretty handy. Tuck up some of these wires, then we'll start putting things back up on shelves. Well, I think that turned out pretty well. Yes, I took some shortcuts. The cart just got shoved back under with some stuff on it. That's not its final resting place, just its final for this weekend. We got the space pretty cleared out. I'm gonna push the Volvo back in here. I think that turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the workbench space and the pegboard, and I think I'll expand on it and get some more hooks and some little containers that'll hook into the back there. That'll keep things more organized. I still have quite a few empty bins, so that's good. As I think through more organization, I might fill some stuff out. So that'll do it for this week. If you have any suggestions on how to maximize the use of a pegboard, any suggestions, or if you've come across any cool things to add to it, let me know. That'll be it for this week. I'm gonna push some things back into place, get the Volvo stored back there, get cars pulled back inside. Until next time, thanks for watching.